fitting shape, lubricated for comfort, reservoir and rouse animal passion. Savage Bliss condoms. Get them today. Psst. Hey, have you tried Amy's new accident cover? With only 3% within the first year. That's a deal to die for.
I'm a girl at the discount store. She was ready to dance so raw.
Shit. Hi, mate. It's 2024. We can't do this anymore.
It's just a face mask.
Yeah, that's 50 demerit points. Good morning and welcome. This is episode 11 of the 4x3 podcast. It's a cold morning today, and the further we get along into these months, the more we get the hot weather and the more we get the extremely cold weather. And for the last 5 days or so, I've been taking the dog for a walk, and that's fairly new for me to be that consistent. It could all come crashing and burning down to the ground, and I could end up stopping all over again. So for the first 3 days, I took her out to my local bushland, and I let her off the lead quite early in the morning and just let her run free, and until she realizes she has to come back. In a perfect world, I would like her to be by my side and walk next to me, but I have no clue of how to train her to actually do that, and she's a bit of a nutty dog, so I don't know. And the other 2 times, one being this morning and one being yesterday morning, I took her along the highway up to a rest area near my house. And I think that's about a 6-kilometer return. And you'll see by the overlay I have going on right now, the footage from this morning, well, you will sort of see it. I had night vision on and my little headlamp, and so far I've been going out during the dark hours of the morning. And to be fair, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and by the time it hits 7, let's see, the time now is 24 past 7, so by the time it hits 7:15 or something, it's getting pretty light out there, to the point where I just turn the headlamp off and just I'm unsure if I will go that route tomorrow or if I'll go at all. I don't know. I can't predict each day, but so far I've just been getting out of bed even if I'm tired. The first few times I was getting up before the children, and that was good. They didn't fight as much. It might be a lie, but yeah. And there's so much rubbish on the side of the road. I thought it would be within the distance of the rest area, which doesn't actually have a bin between there and a little bit up the road, but actually there's a fair amount of rubbish all the way up to my township, roadside rubbish. And on the way back, I was thinking maybe I should just make a documentary about hiring a crew to come clean it up and then trash talk the local councils, and then do a travelling documentary where we go and clean roadsides. But I'd imagine quite quickly it would become a dump again. All in all, it's not 100% up to councils to do it, but at the same rate, the councils are so grubby that they don't even want to put a bin there. not to bitch and moan, but it literally has a smoker's bin, plenty of benches for people to come and rest, and they'd be quite often sitting down and having lunch, so there would be a fair amount of rubbish. And when people travel, there's usually bin services or bins on the side of the road or at rest areas. For some reason at this rest area there isn't. And with so much money being spent on tourism and all the local councils putting in all their efforts to promote tourism, you'd think that they would, provide small services, and I know they lack in certain areas. It's almost as if they take the money and run, and then literally go and obtain more funding for more tourism while neglecting the local population. At least for a couple of the areas I frequent, that seems to be the case. Each little town has their own tourist, what do you call it? I don't know, promotion? I don't know. The words aren't on top of my head right now, but yeah, I mean, and these are almost on the side of, well, you pass through them essentially, and they're little small towns. And here's the thing, I think it was a couple of years ago, there was a petition at a local cafe near where I live, and the petition was to make the parking spots 2 hour parking, because people were taking up all the spaces and leaving their cars there, and it wasn't leaving openings for new tourists to come in, and they were losing money from tourism. Now, I said to her that this would be a bad idea because you are neglecting the locals who, for whatever reason, might need to leave their car there and go do whatever it is that they do. And I've done such a thing, and in Geelong mainly, like, I used to park my car up on top near a beach, and then I would catch the train to Melbourne, and that car would be there for a week. And the funniest thing was, there was one time where I left my car there. I came back freaked out. They had a cycling event on. My car was fenced in this cycling event. I had to go up to management or whoever was running the show. I said, "Look, mate, that's my car." And like a silly British comedy, I was trapped in there trying to drive out with all these cyclists. It's just so bizarre. And again, these councils don't think that anyone or anything could happen at any time. Not that it matters, they have to go on with the show, so obviously they're going to go on with the show. Having someone's car there isn't going to bother them, and if they were, they'd probably have it towed away. But this was total free parking. In the past, I would complain about how far the distance was from walking from that beach area all the way to town. But now it's just like, if I go there again, it's not a hard walk considering where I live. Way less than, I guess, well, that might be not true, but I'd say way less than the walk I just did this morning. Yeah. Memories. I'm trying to think of all these. I've probably mentioned this before, but I've got a few memories from my childhood. And these are sort of confessions, I suppose. Hope it doesn't bite me on the ass. I had not a weird childhood, but sort of like would hang out with the kids in my street. So maybe like 6, 7, 8 blocks down, I'd have pretty much a best friend that I'd hang out with. And I was about 12 years old, maybe 11 or 10. I don't know. All I remember is they were like in grade 3, and they were like maybe in, I gotta say they were in grade 3 and I was in like grade 6 or something. They were like 8 and I was like 11 or 12. They were pretty much my sister's age, so she's 3 years younger than me. So they would have been like 9 or something, and I was like 12. Anyway, I'd hang out with them, and then we'd have kids from the farm block down the road come down, and then we'd have another court down. There'd be more people we'd hang out with, and most of the time we'd pretty much skate, and by skate I mean we'd rollerblade or use scooters. Think about it now, scooters are very popular. I didn't consider scooters popular back then, but yeah. This is when the green machine came out too, I think. So that was like a big thing that everyone was into. But anyway, so me and my mate down the road, I'd pretty much sneak out every morning and go there before school. I don't know if I ever skipped school in primary school. I don't have that memory at all, but I do know that like on weekends, I think it was, we'd travel along and head very far down to like the skate park, which was fairly far from where I lived. And I'd go with this same kid all the time. And it's just weird how there's memories that are there and you just think that, did that actually happen? And that was sort of like this. Wondering if my parents knew where I was at all times, and I think the answer being no, realistically. Because most of the time I would just leave. And sometimes I'd even stay at my friend's house and they wouldn't even know that I was there. And so yeah, this skate park, oh man, I'm trying to think of the distance. Maybe driving it's about 10 minutes and walking is like an hour or so. I'd have to give reference. So this is in Geelong and this is in Grovedale. I don't think anyone's going to know what the hell I'm talking about, anyone listening ever, period. But if anyone did, this is from Grovedale to Warm Ponds, and I think it's called Hayes Road, and we'd take Hayes Road sometimes, and that would be not a back route to Warm Ponds, but like the other way. So there's the main road, I can't remember what it was called, but that's pretty much the straight run from I think it's what's it called, the Golden Camel, or some sort of pub that used to be called the Grovedale Hotel, I think. It's a straight run down there, and then you hit the big shopping centre and the skate park across the road, and then I think there's a giant swimming pool and baseball field or something. Yeah, we used to walk up there and hang out at the skate park, and there'd be a lot of ferals there. I've been offered cigarettes and all sorts of things, and everyone's swearing and carrying on and whatnot. And we were trying to hit the vert ramp. I did it successfully by sitting down and going down on my rollerblades. There used to be the spine that I tried to do as well. I was able to do it a few times, but now I'm just like scared of breaking everything on my body. And also, there used to be a house, which was my mate's uncle or something who lived there, and behind him there used to be farmland and a train line. This is on Hayes Road, I think. So you go up Peter Street. Well, I don't know that you go up Peter Street. There's like a milk bar. Anyway, no one's going to know what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah, so we used to walk behind where the train track was, and I don't know, memories of these weird dirt hills. I did a lot of weird stuff, like a lot of adventures where my parents didn't know where I was, I guess. And down the road I used to hang out with a few people, maybe a fair chunk of people, and we used to skate in the middle of the road. And even when I got injured, I don't think my parents knew. And everyone knew each other on that block, every kid's. Like, nowadays, everyone's neighbour, they don't really talk to one another, I reckon. And back then, I'm fairly certain all the kids knew each other, but the parents didn't know each other at all. Which is interesting. And everyone pretty much went to the same school, primary school. And then you scope out even further and you go to high school, and then you definitely don't know every kid. I mean, you don't know every kid, but you know of most, well, that's probably not even true. You know of each group in your high school, but as the years go on, there's a new year that comes in, so quite honestly, you don't really know everyone at all. But in our area, for sure, primary school, yeah, everyone knew each other. There are a couple of instances that happened in high school and in primary school. I don't know if I really want to mention it. One being that a car in the backyard of my parents' house burnt down. I won't say how that happened. And in high school, me and these, I guess, metalheads used to hang out at this weird industrial site, and something happened with a fire there too. I feel like teenagers are more like arsons than anyone else, but I'm only saying that for a reason. Yeah, and again, I don't even think my parents knew anything like that either. Well, they had to drop me off a few times at my mates from high school. I don't know if I would have called them mates. Nowadays, I look back and I just go, was I really friends with those people? Because essentially it felt like I was the butt of the joke in many ways, but I enjoyed being there and I enjoyed the friendship sort of thing, but I don't know what was going on in their minds, whether I was just like being used for one thing or another. And this is my high school friends. So yeah, that's why this is like a therapy session. But anyway, I've probably mentioned a couple times of my high school memories, but memories in general, like, I'm trying to think of very specific memories, rather than I was in high school and, like, you know, hung out with this person and that person. I generally don't think parents know what you get up to in high school. And even if you don't go home, I don't think they know what you get up to. There's been a few times, like, even when staying at friends' houses and they know I'm staying there, they're not aware of what I get up to. Like, there's been an instance where I think I was staying at one mate's house, ran into another one, and then instead of staying at their house, I ventured off to the other person's house, and then I'd be in someone's weird house where I'm friends with one person, and then they have their friend, and it's just weird. Like, in the past I've been at people's houses, I don't even know why I'm there, but it's like I've been to just weird parties. And another instance is when I was in TAFE. I was close with one of the dudes from there, and I never know when I'm close with someone, so I don't know if I was close with them. I don't know, but nonetheless, I was invited to this party that I don't think anyone else was invited to. I'm pretty sure it was at his house. So there was definitely a lot of people there. I had no idea who they were. I was basically drinking, I was told it was homemade whiskey, moonshine or something. And essentially I got very rotten drunk, and apparently there was a dude there that was a police officer, and I was questioning him, and I was asking him if when they make a bust of weed, whether or not they take it home and smoke it all or sell it or whatever, and he reckons they did, but I think they were pulling my leg on that one. And the mate of mine asked the police guy friend, I don't know if he was really, but if he could take me home. I don't even know how I got home. I don't even know where I stayed. I don't have that memory at all. All I remember was being in this house, and then I ended up, I think, in the city, and then I don't even know where I ended up, but I was pretty much violently drunk. I don't even know if that's the right word. Very badly drunk. To the point where I wasn't, stable. And that's not even the only time. There's like a fair amount of times that it's just weird. Like, not even staying at people's places, even hanging out at places. Like, for example, I used to hang out with my cousin, and we used to go partying a lot, clubbing, and I think most of it was clubbing, and we'd be in some weird city apartment and hanging out with someone that I knew of, and then I don't even think my parents knew. I dabbled in some, marijuana smoking before, and I pretty much took a hit of a bong from some gay dude and pretty much choked on that one. And I think we went clubbing after that. Many instances of going clubbing and then ending up back home, and sometimes I've been left alone while my cousin's somewhere else. I never did too well when I was alone at a club. I never enjoyed it. And being sober and alone is far worse too than not drinking and being alone, or drinking and being alone. And man, there's definitely a few random places. Another one, been at my aunt's house in the city with my 2 cousins, and I had long hair back then, and I'd never experienced going on the train. Well, I don't know if this was in like 09 or like 2010. I don't know if it was before or after uni, but what I mean is I've never really gone out partying at night in the city. I know in uni I did that, but yeah. They basically took me clubbing, and it was at a type of club where you had to be with a partner or something. And so I pretended my cousin was my girlfriend just to get in, and I had this horrible fuzzy long hair, and I don't even think we stayed long there. I don't know, but that was another weird time where it was just an odd adventure of something I would be too anxious to do, but I did it anyway because I was with someone comfortable. But the thing is, it's just like, I think back at certain things and I'm just like, why the hell did I do that? Why did I go there? Because it just feels so bizarre, and it's like, I feel bad for any female who does exactly that thing, because you could be setting yourself up to get murdered, essentially. And me looking back feeling that way is just one thing. If I'm stuttering right now, it's because I'm actually freezing. Oh my god, it's cold. I'm probably stuttering right now. Fucking freezing, mate. And I've got to get through these instances, I reckon. Even if it's just this I talk about. Another time, it depends on the year. I used to love like holidays and going out and partying and things like that. Now I don't give a shit. And New Year's is one of those things. And I went out one time with these friends from high school, and we ended up going clubbing, I think, or to a bar, or we went bar hopping, which is quite normal, I suppose. And at the end of the night, my mate, drunk, well, he wasn't drunk, I was probably intoxicated. He wanted to go to the police station for shits and giggles to get me breathalyzed, and we walked in there and they're like, why the hell do you want that? Because my mate thought he was in with the cops and they would be friendly with him, and I was just thinking, I could have told you that because I was telling you that. Why would you go in there and basically say you're drunk and that you want to be breathalyzed? Anyways, I guess there's sort of an irony to that, because at about like midnight or something, or after midnight, or maybe deep into the early hours of the morning, I don't know if we witnessed a car crash, but we definitely were there, and we were trying to help this bloke who had obviously passed out, either from the crash or I don't know. I don't even know if he died or anything. I don't know anything. But we were helping him because his car obviously hit a pole or it was stopped and it crashed. I don't know. It didn't look good. But his condition, although he was passed out, there was no like signs of injury other than maybe internally. I don't know. But I don't know if we ended up calling emergency services or something. I can't remember, but we definitely were at that scene and trying to check if he was alright, trying to communicate with him, but I think it was more like he was knocked out and I don't even know how to explain it. Not coherent, but it seemed like he was animated but wasn't like awake. I don't know how to explain it. But that was another weird time, and I'm pretty sure I just stayed at my girlfriend's, like I had friends that were girls' house. I'm pretty sure I did that. Oh my god, it's so cold, mate. And I guess there's been a couple times I've just been at my TAFE mate's party. Just normal parties with my uni mates. Well, I mean, weird ones have been like, after uni we'd be at one of the uni friends' houses, but we didn't know them that much. Just weird moments of staying at people's houses in different locations of Victoria. It's just like, it seems like odd. And I remember one time I was hanging out at like a bar with some chick from uni and one of her friends, our friend, well, more like her friend, close friend. And I don't even know if other classmates were there, and I don't even know how I was there or invited to that, or if I just tagged along. I don't even know. I don't even know, realistically. Oh my god, it's so cold. Who did this? Oh man. There was another instance where I was going to run away to New South Wales on an aeroplane to meet some chick and basically move in with her and her 3-year-old. I backed out the last minute. I didn't know who she was, but all I knew was, in the back of my mind, I didn't want to go. She explained, without telling me too much of what type of person she was or who she was friends with, and it wasn't quite clear whether she had a partner or she was trying on with other people and something to do with bikies and weird shit, and I was just pretty much out for the count on that occasion. I was basically going to head to, I don't even know, near the Blue Mountains or something, and then take a train somewhere random. I really don't know, and I'm glad I didn't, because I don't know what would have happened really. And again, almost another instance where my parents didn't know where the hell I was going. And my partner now, I don't even think they knew that I was going to see her or anything like that. I was sort of secret about a few things, I think. Oh, mate. But yeah. Oh, other times were, like, my cousin used to work at a bar and grill, and she wanted me to wait for her to finish work, so I'd go in like 2 hours early, because we were set to go out and party on that evening, and it was just way too awkward and just painful because I had to sit at the bar. I didn't want to spend any money. I didn't really have any money to spend. I didn't know if staff were just like, why the hell are you sitting there all night? It's a bit weird. And not buying drinks or anything. And me just trying to be on my phone and write down notes and weird stuff, because I had to wait for my cousin I don't know why I waited a while. I think I could have just, arrived just as she was about to finish, but there was no certainty of that happening. But yeah, that's just another weird time. And that was in the city of Geelong. So she might have finished at like 9 in the evening, and some of the stores would still be open, so I'd head off to like Office Works and walk around the city and come back and have a drink and not really do much. It's quite painful. And yeah, like, again, just, it feels so bizarre to have been in just weird places, alone with certain people you don't really know or hang out with. And that's happened a fair chunk of times. There's a fair few parties I could mention, but I probably won't. Try and move on to something else. And this health thing is pretty slow at the moment, and I am down to about 97 kilograms from, I want to be fair and say 106, but I'll be extremely fair and say I haven't really noticed since I was about 101 kilograms, and to be even more fair, in the last 3 weeks, going from 100 kilograms to 97, and if I'm lucky it'll stay the same. So basically what I'm trying to do is lose weight, maintain, then I can stick to a routine, which is sort of like, if I make a mistake, I've just maintained that weight instead of gained it, then I'm not full of disappointment and I can just go back to losing weight again. And nothing unusual has happened other than I'll maybe eat an extra meal during that day, because I'm just like, I'm eating, that's it, I'm gonna eat, stuff it, and then I'll eat twice in the day. And right now I'm just fasting 24 hours and eating, and then fasting and eating. And the only thing I've been eating is wraps, to be honest. And so, like, it'll be like wraps every day, maybe like nuts and all that. Nothing too big. And then once a week so far, it's just been like KFC. But the things that have been taken away have been pasta, chocolate, lots of soda, cookies, potato chips, heavy meals. So we haven't been cooking heavy meals, so that would be like pasta, I don't know, big, whatever, say like burgers and all that, just heavy meals. We haven't been doing that, because with the combination of having that one meal, having snacks, chocolate and sugar, and another meal and another snack, another this, another that, when you have the one meal a day and you know how many calories are in it, not that you should count your calories, it's quickly easy to realize how many more calories you had on a poor diet of snacks and heavy meals. And that's what I've noticed before. Exactly that. And now, realistically, I don't count calories, but I say, this is a 2,000 calorie meal. I want to be 2,000 or under, and that's it. That's all I say to myself. I know that each individual bread wrap is like 220 calories, like the actual bread part of it, and then everything on it and whatever drink I have during the day, I go, okay, that's 1,500 to 2,000 calories, and that'll be it. And then if I have extra, then I'll know based on that. And even the KFC, like the burger, is probably like under 1,000 calories, like 500 calories, and then some chips, depending on whether I eat them all or not, probably another 500. I mean, it's not like a 3,000 calorie thing, which people sort of claim. I'm pretty sure it's way less than that, and I'm only having that for like one meal, and it's the only meal I have, and that's it. And so I might not lose weight from that, but I definitely won't gain the weight. But not to get ahead of myself, because this could end at any time, and then I'll hate my life. Oh man, I'm recording this in the caravan right now, and I'm freezing my balls off. And believe it or not, my balls aren't actually freezing. I'm just cold at my top end. Oh boy. I'm not sure what's on for today. It's being a Saturday. Well, I don't know. I think we've been heading out too much recently. It's good to get a break, but I am now chasing up a drop saw. The generator, I don't know what state it realistically is in, but whenever it is working, I'm going to pull it out, use the drop saw. First task is to clean up scrap in the yard, get it ready to go take it to the tip, and I sort of need to clean up a bit. The problem with living in general is that every time you purchase something and later on you don't need it, it's harder to get rid of than it was to obtain. So, for example, we paid $120 for a couch that we put in the house, but now we were quoted $200 to get rid of it. So we didn't want to pay that, so we left it in the yard. Now that's a problem, because now I've got to grind it all up, get rid of the mattress, pay a couple bucks to get rid of the mattress, and dump the metal. And I've done that in the past, but it's a lot of effort. So over time, a few bits of scrap end up in the yard, and especially if you have old furniture that's just falling apart, it ends up in a pile because no one wants it and not too quick to get rid of it. So there's definitely a lot of things to do around here. Anyway, I've been purchasing trees, and I think that's going to happen a lot now. Every time there's money, just more trees, more plants, more this, just to build a food forest and see how we go. And with that long conversation about where I've been and not knowing where I am, I am out. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.